You are about to spend somewhere between $300 and $3,000 on a mattress, and you are stuck on the one question that decides everything else. Should you get foam or should you get a spring bed? If that is what brought you here, you are in the right place. Neither type wins outright, no matter what the showroom tells you, because the people selling usually push whichever one they make. The right pick comes down to how you sleep, whether you run hot at night, and who you share the bed with. By the end of this, you will know exactly which type fits you, and you will be able to choose without second guessing it. I have read through the manufacturer specs, the mattress lab testing, and a pile of real owner reviews from people who regretted their choice, so you do not have to do that homework yourself. Let me start with what these two things actually are, because the names get thrown around loosely. A spring mattress, the kind your grandparents had, is built on a core of steel coils with a thin comfort layer on top. There are two kinds of coils, and the difference between them matters more than you would expect. Old-style Bonnell coils are all wired together, so they are cheap and bouncy, but when one moves, they all move. Pocketed coils are each wrapped in their own fabric sleeve, so they move independently, which means less bounce travels across the bed. A spring mattress holds you up on top of it. You sleep on the bed rather than down inside it. Memory foam is the opposite feel entirely. It is a layer of that slow, sinking foam over a denser support foam underneath. When you lie down, it softens to your body heat and molds around you, so you sleep in the bed and it hugs you. The denser the foam, the longer it lasts, and the better it holds up a heavier body. That density is the single spec worth checking on a foam bed. The factor that actually decides it for most buyers has nothing to do with price or even feel. It comes down to how you sleep. If you are a side sleeper, foam is almost always your answer. Lying on your side puts your whole body weight on your shoulder and your hip, two narrow points, and a firm spring bed pushes back against them and leaves you sore. Foam lets the shoulder and hip sink in while it supports the curve of your waist, so your spine stays in a straight line. Look for something in the medium to medium soft range. That contouring is the thing foam does better than anything else. If you sleep on your back or your stomach, the answer flips. A back sleeper needs the hips held up level with the shoulders, and a stomach sleeper needs it even firmer, so the belly does not sag down and bend the lower back into an arch. Soft foam lets the middle of your body sink too far, which is exactly the wrong thing here. A firmer spring mattress or a hybrid keeps you lifted and level, so aim for something medium firm. And if you are a combination sleeper who rolls from side to back to stomach all night, you want a spring or a hybrid. Coils are bouncy and responsive, so you can shift and turn easily. Deep memory foam works against you here because it holds the dent of where you were lying and you have to climb out of it to roll over. That is the single most common regret I see from foam owners. They buy something soft and cheap, sink in, and rolling over starts to feel like real work. If you already toss and turn, that trapped feeling will drive you up the wall. The other big foam complaint is heat, and that one is real enough that it deserves its own section. Memory foam tends to sleep warm. The same property that makes it hug your body, all that dense material wrapped around you, also traps your body heat against you instead of letting it escape. If you are someone who kicks the covers off at 2 in the morning, a basic foam bed will make that worse. The industry knows this, so most foam beds now come with gel beads, copper, or an open cell structure built in to pull heat away, and the good ones genuinely help. But the simple physics still favors the other side. A spring bed has open space between the coils, and air moves through that space and carries your heat away all night. If running hot is your main problem, lean spring or hybrid. Now the opposite situation, which is the case where foam clearly wins. If you share your bed with a partner who tosses, turns, or gets up at different hours than you, foam is your friend. It absorbs almost all of that movement. Your partner can roll over or climb out of bed and you will barely feel it on your side. A spring bed, especially an old Bonnell coil one, sends every movement straight across the mattress so you wake up each time they shift. Pocketed coils cut that down a lot, but foam still wins the motion test outright. If you have a light sleeper and a restless partner under one blanket, that alone can settle the decision. A few more practical things people forget to ask about. The first is the edge of the bed. Spring mattresses have a sturdier perimeter, so you can sit on the side to tie your shoes or sleep right up to the edge without feeling like you are about to roll off, while foam edges tend to soften and give way under you. The second is how much noise it makes. Spring coils start to squeak and creak as they age, so a worn-out one announces every time you move, while a foam bed stays dead silent for its whole life. The third is the smell when it is new. Foam beds give off a chemical odor when you first unbox them, called off-gassing, and it can linger for a few days. It is harmless and airs out, but if you are sensitive to smells, let it breathe in a spare room for a day first. What about back pain, since that is why a lot of people are shopping in the first place? The thing that catches people off guard is that the material matters less than the firmness. The research on this is pretty consistent, that a medium firm bed relieves chronic back pain better than a very firm one for most sleepers. The old advice to sleep on the hardest mattress you can find is simply wrong. If you have back pain and you sleep on your side, foam at a medium feel tends to help most. If you have back pain and you sleep on your back or stomach, a medium firm spring or hybrid keeps your spine from bowing. Most of the back pain people blame on the mattress type is really the wrong firmness for the way they sleep. Body weight changes the math too. If you are on the lighter side, under about 130 pounds, you may find firm coils feel like a board because you are not heavy enough to press into them, and foam tends to cradle you better. If you are over about 230 pounds, you need real support underneath you, which means either a high-density foam or a sturdy coil or hybrid bed, and strong edge support matters more for you. A thin, cheap foam bed will sag under a heavier body within a year or two. Let me talk about how long these last and what they cost, because that is where the decision gets real. A good memory foam mattress lasts about 8 to 10 years, and a high-density one can stretch toward 15. A spring mattress runs about 7 to 10 years, but the coils start to sag, and you feel the dips well before that, sometimes at 5 years. So foam edges out spring on lifespan if you buy decent density. On price, here is the current picture for a queen. A basic inner spring runs as low as $150 to $400, which makes it the cheapest way to get a real bed. A mid-range foam bed lands around $800 to $1,200. The two used to sit far apart on price, but they overlap a lot now, so cost matters less in this decision than it used to. And whatever you buy, online and holiday sales routinely knock 30 to 50% off the sticker, so almost nobody should pay full retail. So what if you read all that and you are still torn because you sleep hot but your partner tosses, or you switch positions but you have back pain? That situation is exactly what a hybrid is built for. A hybrid puts a pocketed coil core underneath for the airflow and the bounce and the support, and a real foam comfort layer on top for the pressure relief and the motion control. You get most of the cooling of a spring bed and most of the cushioning of a foam bed in one mattress. It is the safe pick for the undecided, and it is why hybrids have become the most popular type sold. The trade-off is cost, since a hybrid is usually the priciest of the three, often starting around $1,200 for a queen and climbing from there. So here is where you land. Go foam if you sleep on your side, share the bed with a restless partner, or want the deepest pressure relief. Go spring if you sleep hot, lie on your back or stomach, change positions all night, or want to spend the least. And if you are caught in the middle on any of those, a hybrid splits the difference and pleases the widest range of people. Match the bed to your body and the way you sleep, because there is no single winner here. There is only the right one for you, and that is really all there is to it. Once you know how you sleep and what bothers you at night, the right mattress stops being a guess and starts being obvious. You have got this part figured out now. The hard part was never the buying. It was knowing which kind fits you, and now you do.